Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madeline. So nice to have you here, Starseeds. And this is a special reading for the Starseeds. On this channel, I want to start doing once a week, kind of on the weekend, a Starseed update. So any of you light workers, Starseeds that are drawn to the channel, and I really pray that you are drawn here, please share with your friends so they can also benefit from these messages. And so I would like to do this Starseed update, and this time I'm going to use the 2-card spread, what your soul wants you to know, and the action your soul is guiding you to take. So knowledge and action. So let's take a look at those 2 cards, and then we'll probably look also at a few tarot cards to explain and talk about those cards a little more. And this deck that I'm using is the Starseed Oracle deck. It's a really cool, wonderful deck. You learn a lot about being a Starseed from the comments and stuff that are in the deck, so that's really great. And then for the extended, we'll look at some of the hopes and fears, blocks that you're going to have in this next week as a starseed, and also what your higher self is wanting to tell you. So that will be in the extended part of the reading. Okay, so let us start with putting the energy of the divine, the angels, the other entities that come to bring love and light to us. So we will ask for love and light to come to us for guidance, and also to be protected, to keep out anything else that may be anything but what we would like to know or understand. Okay, so let's start here. Put some Reiki energy in the deck. So if any of you are wanting Reiki or Theta healing distance, that is something I'm certified in, and I would love to help you with. And please come over to the zodiac signs and the other readings that might be of interest to you. I know I'll be doing a full moon reading, and also I have a Facebook and Instagram, Spiritual Rebirth Tarot, so please feel free to come to those as well. Okay, so what we need to know, and then the action that we need to take. Okay, so the first card is Weight of the World, and the second card is You're Not Alone. Okay, so the things that you need to know about. Oh, it's beautiful. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So you don't need to carry the weight of the world. You can see here she's, in the water, receiving her energy and strength from this cleansing, and these beautiful energies are around her, kind of leading and guiding her. Spending time in meditation in water is a great way to just kind of help your mind to be downloaded with the new things that you need to know. And then the action, isolation, physical connection, and community. You're not alone. So, sometimes as starseeds, we feel very alone in our communities that we've been raised in. We were raised in a home where we're the only one that was anything like what we're like. We could be anywhere from the black sheep to just the different one. And so I think that, and then this kind of reminds me. So there's two things it reminds me of. You can see the connection between them. So it's like a 5D connection, that they're working together even though they don't actually know each other. And the other thing it reminds me of is actually my sister, who died at 18, which is a very hard thing. And both of us, being from Orion, we come from the same soul family, and we were both Geminis. And so I felt like, for that time in our childhood, we weren't alone, that we were the twins. And we were able to bring light and love to many, many people through our singing and those kind of things in our lives. So a true blessing Meredith was in my life. And she is being a blessing where she is now in continuing her ministry. So I would like to take a look at the oracle description that talks about each of the cards, because it has so much extra meaning that really comes out in the reading. Excuse me. Weight of the world. Like everything else, they're in alphabetical order. Okay, that's almost everything else. Okay, you don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. I just realized, okay, so this is here. You don't need to carry it all. In other words, you don't have to do this alone. And then the other message is, you're not alone. So the message for this week, Starseeds, is you're not alone. And you don't have to do this alone. And find the people that you can be a community with. Come and join Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. And I also have a woman's group, Conscious Living. And come and join those. Be a part of the communities. There's so many communities out there that you can be a part of and join. This card is a reminder, and if you're not into Facebook, you can go Instagram. I have Spiritual Rebirth Tarot, and I post a lot of things in the Instagram there as well. The card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. So you can only do what you can do. You need to make sure you're taking the time this week to revitalize and rejuvenate yourself, to not carry the whole weight of the world on you. So this card is thanking you for carrying so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others. And that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. So it's kind of the opposite, my group Conscious Living. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. So, create those boundaries. You can only do so much yourself and be part of a team and part of a union. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the statue of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. So the question is, what are you carrying that isn't even yours? So I know if you are also an empath that tends to take on other people's things, we could be carrying a lot. I know for me, whenever I meet a guy that I find attractive or interesting, it's really hard because he feels the same way. I feel so much, feeling and love coming off of him that sometimes I'm not sure if it's him or me. And I think the same goes like for even, my children or, other people in your life. You kind of feel their frustrations or their hurts or their pains, as your own. You can take those in. You can have anxiety a lot. So one thing that you can do is zip yourself up. So in the morning, create a bubble. Ask Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael to come and create a bubble of light around you. And everyone is, could be green, it could be golden, it could be white, it could be pink, whatever is the most protective bubble for you. And then also to, physically zip your aura so that it's not associated with others and that it stays within itself. Excuse me. And the other thing you can do is my throat chakra's really getting me there. I've been wearing blue. So another thing you can do is dry wash. So I was saying at the end of the day to energetically wash. So as many times as you need to until you start to feel empty and like it's just you that's left and everything else is gone. So the energies come off of you. And so those are some of the things that we can do as starseeds to kind of help ourselves. My dog's down here. She's enjoying the cleansing. So anyway, those are some of the things that we can look at as starseeds and how we're living our lives and not to get overwhelmed. So let's look at the sign. So that's what you need to know. And then for the action to do this week, let's take a look. You're not alone. So I'm thinking maybe the action is to join something, become part of something so you don't feel so alone. And the other thing that you could do, I'll put a link below for this group, since this will be coming out before the 21st. We're having a mass meditation. The Mary Magdalene group is having a mass meditation on the 21st, and you can join that group. And I'm hoping that group continues past this great passage on the 21st and the joining of Jupiter and Saturn. And because it is such a wonderful group of people, 10,000 people have come together and are connecting, so you are not alone. Cool. Okay. All right. The older the soul, the deeper the cave. Many starseeds and old souls enjoy their own company. Spending time alone can be comforting and necessary for their vitality. So, a lot of times they have that introvert nature. And I think, I know that I'm an introvert. And I think a lot of people who have more of an empath nature, starseeds, those kind of people tend to be more introverted, at least 50-50. Okay, so spending time alone can be comforting and necessary for their vitality, as it allows them to commune with their soul and fill up their energetic resources, especially if they have an underactive or open root chakra or find it hard being human. Many starseeds find it more nourishing to retreat than to spend their time in meaningless conversations and relationships. And you can definitely relate to that. However, we must remember that we're not here to go about this life alone. Humans are pack animals, and we all need the love, company, and support of others, both emotionally and physically. In our increasingly online world, we can be connected to more people and yet feel more alone and isolated than ever. There's still so much we don't know about the energetic side effects of things like social media. With so many people knowing our news, what is it doing to our auric field? It's a good question, huh? Hopefully we can use the media for good, like here on this channel, and choose the things that are good, but not to spend too much time with the media and to spend time away, like the other card was talking about. In the morning, have the practice, don't pick up your phone. Have your meditation practice, your exercise in nature, all of that before you start your day with your phone. Commonly, we find ourselves in constant conversation, yet lacking the genuine connection of physical community and touch. The main message of this card is to step out of your cave and physically reach out to those in your life. So, maybe your children, your spouse, your love, the people that are in your life. And right now with the coronavirus, it's a lot harder to do that. But, still reach out where we can. To replenish when you need to, but not isolate yourself. This could be seeing friends and family who live nearby or having a regular catch-up walk with someone. That's a good idea. In what ways can you open yourself up to the people who are physically in your life, those who truly know you? How can you reach out to people in your life physically? So this card is asking you this week to reach out in some ways that you maybe don't always feel comfortable doing, because that physical touch is an important part of being a human. So let's look at a couple of cards here. So weight of the world, letting go, don't carry everything on your shoulders. The High Priestess, you're not alone. Find physical connection and community. We got two. The Page of Cups and Justice. So Justice can also be the Libra energy. Okay. So you can see here that she's flying, and she kind of has that all-knowing owl with her, the all-knowing, all-seeing. She's, you know, she's flying. The weight of the world is definitely not on her shoulders. She's moving out into the unknown. She has a pomegranate in her hand. It reminds me of that story about the woman who she fell in love with the devil, Hades, and of course he lives in hell and she lives on earth, and her mother got upset when they were allowed to be married, and so so I think it's Persephone or something like that. So she goes down to Hades half the year, and she's on earth the other half the year. When she eats a pomegranate on earth, she remembers her life, you know, her love in hell, her husband, and so she goes down there. So that's what kind of cues her to continue the cycle. And this cycle kind of is illustrative of the kinds of cycles that we can go through in our lives, karmic cycles, and especially what they call a plutonic. So anything to do with Pluto, which is, you know, the Scorpio or the death card. So, you know, death, Scorpio, the macabre, you know, all of that coming into play. And so people who are plutonic and have come into a relationship like that act in many ways like a narcissist. And they aren't necessarily a narcissist for forever, but they are for a while as part of that relationship. And so so that's what this particular one is making me think of, is that story. And so I'm thinking that, you know, there might be a burden in your life. There might be something you're needing to let go of. So there'll come a moment in your life where maybe you're in one of those relationships, maybe you are the plutonic partner, maybe you are being with a plutonic partner, but either way, all of a sudden it'll come to an end, just a abrupt change, and you know that it's no longer a part of your life. And it's very hard to explain to other people why you're just getting a divorce. But I know that happened to me, and it was like, I was the plutonic. I kind of put him through the ringer. And then there was just this moment, but it was our soul contract. And then it's just this moment where I forgave him for everything. I forgave myself for everything, and I was free, and I no longer needed the relationship. So for some of you, that's going to be the message, is that this will happen to you this year, maybe this week. You know, that these energies will come where you're like, you know what? I don't need to be in that anymore because my contract has been fulfilled, and I'm to move on to something else. So media, making sure it's plugged in. Okay, so the second one, you're not alone. Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is like that, is like a romance. So allowing romance into your life. And the Justice, you know, the Libra, you know, tends toward those relationships and love as the seventh house in their life. So the Page of Cups and Justice. So allowing romance and love and marriage and all of those things into your life, and manifesting those into your life in the physical is really important. Because see, the Justice is all about balance, and so we can't just have the spiritual while we're here. We have the spiritual and the physical joined together, and there's so many lessons for us to learn in these relationships that we have. And that's why we made the soul contracts, you know, for these relationships, because of all these lessons that we're here to learn. And so we're not just here to like be this big starry light. as a starseed, but also to learn these lessons about how to be a better person and a more balanced person. Okay, so let us go on over to the extended, and let's take a look at some of the blocks that you'll have this week, the fears and hopes that you're going to be having, and messages from your higher self. That entire part of ourselves that maybe hasn't incarnated, that is still up there and ready to be a part of all of this. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really just absolutely love having you here. Please subscribe to my channel so you can get updates every week with the Starseed update. And it's so nice and so wonderful, and I love each and every one of you. So the link for the extended is below, and come on over and we'll continue the reading.